I'm doing this on something I normally don't do it on my phone. I do it on my tablet. I just felt called to say a message, and I don't know exactly what's gonna come up. But what I do know is that what I'm feeling is vulnerability. I was listening to a message myself. I was listening to a message myself, and the message, the thing that stuck out to me the most is when it talked about vulnerability. It talked about sensitivity, vulnerability, and being comfortable in my own skin, and that resonating in other people because of the comfortability that I have within myself. And for some reason, that resonated really strongly with me, really big. So what I'm getting, um, Four Cups energy, boredom. I feel like the period has been very slow. There's been a big pause. I'm looking at the screen and there's a pause on the screen. So there's something about the pause that's been very long. And I feel like, in a way, you are starting to feel impatient. And don't feel bad about that impatience. That impatience is, it's actually meaning that you're ready. The reason why I feel like this snow list, you've been very patient. You have been very patient. You've been actually taking things slow and not rushing. And I feel like the only reason why you haven't been so rushy or ready to like rush into something is because something that happened previously before. For example, me, I'm meant to speak about this. Um, it's not even that I was rushing, but there was a period in my life where I definitely was a lot more fast paced, and I didn't I didn't slow down. I did not know how to slow down. Um, and I, I I still have this issue, but I get this pressure, this overwhelming pressure, and it's not as strong as it used to be, thank goodness, all because of what I went through. But there was a period in my life where pressure, internal noise and external noise used to take over everything around me, to the point where slowing down felt like slowing down felt like betrayal. Slowing down felt like passive, being too passive and not doing anything. Um, there's something about like pressure. There was just like this energy of you have to do, you have to do, you have to do, you have to do the right thing, you have to create the right energy. The energy must be, because I'm seeing a lot of wands energy, and wands is all about action. So there was like a lot of action that I was putting in, a lot of energy and time and effort I was putting into things that I didn't even want to do. I did the pressure. I took in that pressure that mainly came from the past. That energy mainly came from the past, but I forced myself into this energy of pressure solely because being vulnerable or being passive felt like it wasn't going to serve me, because in the past I had times where I would slow down or I became passive in a way, and it wasn't held in the way that it was meant to be held in. Um, when used to, I used to be I used to be very calm. used to be very like this mixed energy of like calmness and passion. This mix of calm and passion. And the mix of calm and passion, it turned into something a lot more brighter and softer. And I had this energy that knew how to balance certain energies out, and the world did not know how to hold that mix of love and calmness and kindness within, and patience. I wasn't able to hold myself in calmness and patience because of what happened in the past with me. And for some reason, I'm struggling to talk about it, but at the same time, I don't feel called to like not talk about it. I don't know what's going on, to be honest, but I'm just gonna breathe. If you are still here, be patient with me. If you're meant to hear this message, you will. I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, if this video is frustrating you or triggering you in any way, you're just gonna have to click off because I'm giving myself time to feel whatever I'm meant to feel while I'm making this video. Um, yeah, I don't know what I'm feeling right now, and I don't understand why I was called to make a video, but what I do know is that um, there's something about this world that is so cruel. I think as humans, we learn to be so rushing with each other and expecting of each other, expecting of like certain energies. That's like, what if I don't want to be in that energy? You know what I mean? It's like this energy of like expectations, pressure, and what I'm getting is like I turned into the very person that was filled with pressure. And wow, I was talking about the 4 cups, and look at what came up. I Oh, that's the 5. I don't know why I said 4. Interesting. 6 of Cups. Yeah, I'm getting this energy of like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm getting this energy of like just kindness. Sometimes, as humans, we become impatient with each other, and we become so impatient that we end up hurting people in the process of that impatience. I feel like the biggest gift you can give to somebody, especially if they're a sensitive soul, is patience. Because I feel like one of the things that hurt me or caused me pain was when people were impatient with who I was, impatient with my energy, impatient with me learning and forming in the way that feels comfortable and good and growing for me. And see, I'm being impatient. Hold on a second. Alright. Um, to be straight with you, I'm definitely the type of person that will feel dis-ease whenever something is handed to me. Um, I think I've gotten to the point where I just can't, just old energies that I used to tolerate. I just can't. I just can't do the same things I used to be able to do. It feels like betrayal. Um, But like I said, if you're still here, you're meant to be here. But if you're not, then that's okay. Because this message feels like it's gonna be very slow. It feels like it's gonna take time to come out, and that you're kind of on this journey with me as I open up to whatever I'm meant to open up to, whether that is something, a message, uh, what I'm getting is like, I feel like there's just energy of spirit, the universe, seeing you holding on, seeing you just tired over it, and they're right behind you with just like whatever you wanted, whatever whatever you really wanted. Um, you see that? They're like, here, it's right here. You just have to turn around. But it's like, what I'm getting is like, you probably don't even have the energy to turn around. You don't even have the energy for it. You're like, if you're not gonna bring it here, then I don't want it. But I don't know that I don't know why, but I feel like the spirit's not gonna let you give up because of the type of person you are. What I'm feeling is the reason why. Because I don't know what you've done or what you've created for yourself, but what I'm getting is that you're someone who can really help the world. I mean, look at what this says. Peacemaker. Like, you are someone that can really help the world. And the world needs you. No matter how much you think you're not needed. And I think Spirit is trying to show you how valuable you really are. Maybe it's time to pause and take some time to look at all that you've done. Like, for example, with me, I don't really talk about all that I do. Um, like all of the things that I take time on doing, I don't really talk about because I don't want to seem like the type of person to stunt or float or show off or like I'm better than anyone. Um, but I take time in the things that I'm really passionate about, and I'm a fighter. I don't give up, even when it seems difficult, even if it feels impossible. I don't give up. I push through. I am someone that pushes through everything that is handed to me because I want so badly to live my dreams. I want so badly to accomplish um, what is meant for me, but I'm just not willing it. I'm not. It's just that I'm not willing to do it the way how I used to, which was through brute force and pain. And literally, there were so many times where spirit had to like make me sick or sit me down or calm me down in order to not like keep going because a lot of like there's a belief in my head that tells me if there's no external action, no external proof that I'm not progressing. And it's been harder for me to be more aware of where I've been actually taking action and where I've actually been making steps solely because the action that I'm taking feels more good and feels more the action I'm taking feels easier because it's actually things that I want to do. It's not that I'm not working hard. It's just the fact that I'm working on the things that actually feels good to me And since I'm working on things that actually feels good, there's this underlining guilt that I feel for it. There's this underlying guilt I feel um, when things are given to me, or like there's this guilt I feel when things just come in easily. Um, ooh, this is a touchy subject. In the past, my energy naturally was abundant. Um, and things came to me naturally, and I was just a happy person. As a kid, I was so happy. I was a very happy kid, and that pissed people off. And I thought the only way for me to get through life is by struggling like everyone else struggles. And I have to struggle like everybody else so that I don't get targeted. Um, I think Spirit has been showing me that I don't need to struggle. Um, I don't need to struggle in order to create peace. I don't need to struggle in order to create love. I don't need to struggle in order to create the world or the environment that feels safe to me. It's not, the hard part is not the creation. I create with very much ease and flow. The hard part, the challenge comes in when ease starts to flow and the things that come to me feels too easy. It feels too right on the money. It feels almost like magical. It almost feels like, wow, I didn't even have to work for the abundance that's coming in. I didn't even have to work for what's going on. So it like there's this guilt. Like I should be struggling like everybody else. I should be struggling like how everybody else is struggling. If I'm struggling, then I'm not like them. It's like this energy of I was trying to be like everybody else because I thought struggling is if I don't struggle, I'm gonna be targeted. If I don't struggle, if I act in this energy of abundance, if I'm secure within myself, if I keep trusting my intuition and trusting the things that feel aligned and united in my soul, I would become a target and people would be like, you got it off easy, you got it so easy. But I don't, I don't, I, I really do not. I'm not saying this because I'm a victim. It's just that people tend to get triggered by me when I'm vulnerable or when I speak my truth because it feels like, oh, but it's my truth. And I think that in the past, I told people my truth and people made it seem like I had it easy. And I thought, okay, let me make my life harder so I can relate to these people. Let me make my heart life, let me bring myself to the energy that, they're feeling. And maybe they'll understand me. And maybe they'll understand how I'm feeling. Maybe they'll understand why I feel this way. But it only triggered them more because even when I was in that energy, it's not that I was always positive. It's not that I was always perfect. It's not that I'm this perfect human being who's never made mistakes, never been angry, never been mad, never been sad. I've been all of those energies in between, all round and round. I feel things intensely. I feel things. Sometimes I feel so many emotions that I feel like I'm gonna burst. The intensity that I feel sometimes is like no other. And I don't know, sometimes I don't even know what to do when I'm feeling such vulnerability or such pain because I've never had a space where my truth, like who I really am, who my inner child really is, unless it was me that held me exactly how it was and didn't get triggered by it. Because even, and this is not saying that there was not people who cared, it's just saying that they couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold that space for me, and that's how I be. That's just how I be. I said for some reason it was something about vulnerability, and I knew it was gonna come out, but I just didn't know that it was gonna be mainly about me. Um, and yeah, I didn't know that this energy was gonna be so much about how I feel and what I've been through. I think what I've been craving the most is a community that isn't triggered by how I feel and by my vulnerability and by my understanding and my perspective on life and accepts me for the human being that I am because that's my truth. My truth is that my inner child believes so solely that I deserve peace. I can't control that. My inner child believes that I deserve a fairy tale life. It does. I can't control what my inner child believes, and I don't want to control what my inner child believes. My inner child believes that I deserve ease. She just does. And I think Spirit has been telling me and showing me a more easy way. And it's felt a lot slower and it's felt a lot less productive solely because I'm doing things with more grace, with more kindness, with more love, and with more patience, doing things the right way. And I've been building, I've been building, I've been building, I've been building like slowly, so slowly, like just keep, I just been just keeping on trusting, just trusting, just trusting. People don't know what I do or what I push through behind the scenes. I pushed through so much. And even with the effort, even when the outcome is not what I want, or even when the outcome is not, it doesn't happen, even when there is no outcome, I always keep trusting. I just keep on trusting. And I keep on trusting, and I keep on trusting, and I keep on trusting. And my biggest soldier, my biggest fighter is my trust. It's the trust that I have. Like, I don't know, like, my dreams aren't just dreams to me. They're not just fake to me. There's something that deserves to be heard and shown. And I just, like I said, what I used to be able to handle in the past, I no longer can handle, and I no longer can take. And I feel like that's as I found more patience, kindness, and love for myself in the process. But I don't know why Spirit's telling me to tell y'all this. Maybe I have a similar story or a story that don't relate at all and it just feels resonant. But yeah, truly. I feel like if the world was more comfortable to share this type of vulnerability, express this vulnerability, all of their pains and doubts and shames, all of the things that we call shadows or the devil or, you know, the bad parts of ourselves or the parts of ourselves that may trigger others. I feel like when we're more willing to show that part of us, when we're more willing to show that side of us, it shows that the world can soften, that softness does exist, that trust does exist, faith does exist, and it does get rewarded. And that patience doesn't always mean standing still. Patience can just mean choosing yourself over and over and over again, even when the even when the external even when the external isn't what isn't catching up with you. I think the patience I've been developing is not one where I'm meditating for hours. I don't meditate. I don't do none of the guru stuff that people think I do. My patience has been developed by just keeping on with my dreams and not giving up, not giving up, trusting that when the time is right, it will come. When the time is here, it will exist. And I can't give up on it. I don't know why. I can't give up. I don't like it feels so wrong to give up on what's mine, on what feels good to me. And so I hold on patiently, waiting for the dream, taking every act of love I can on myself to show that I'm gonna be consistent and pushing forward. Because in reality, that's all I can do. Like I said, no longer doing things with brute force. Do you want me to read it? Alright, if you made it to this point, this message is for you. I do a lot of like reflection notes, and let's see what Spirit wants me to tell y'all, which note they want me to talk to y'all about. And this note is meant for you. Do you want me to go in here? Hmm. Maybe Spirit wants me to go from there. Alright, this reflective chapter is called You Are Not Regressing, You Are Integrating. There has been a lot of movement. There has been a lot of moving late through me lately. Old patterns surfacing. Holy, be patient with me, please. triggers coming up unexpectedly, resistance, noise, frustration, not in a chaotic way, but in a revealing way. One second. Oh, it is. Do you want me to read it? There's so much. Hold on. Y'all gotta be patient with me. I got to. I can't. I'm not rushing. Whew. Am I meant to talk about this right now? Maybe. Okay. Okay. Y'all ready? There has been a lot moving through me lately. Old patterns surfacing, triggers coming up unexpectedly, resistance, noise, frustration. Not in a chaotic way, but in a revealing way. It feels like my body is no longer willing to tolerate energies it once endured. Things I used to override, memonize, or survive through now feels loud in my system, not because I am weaker, but because I am more present. I notice that certain people, certain dynamics activate this response more than others, especially energies that feel controlling. The kind the kind that presents itself as grounding, helpful, or even kind on the surface, but underneath carries a need to manage, shape, or contain. My body reacts strongly to that. Control has been one of my deepest triggers for feeling watched, corrected, boxed in, told how to told how something should look being instead of being allowed to unfold naturally. For a long time, I questioned whether this reaction was an old wound or present truth, whether I was projecting the past onto the present. But the more I sit with it, the clearer it becomes. This sensitivity does not come from nowhere. It was earned. There was moments growing up where my pain was visible but not understood. My messiness wasn't rebellion, it was depression. My room reflected what I couldn't say out loud. I wasn't asking to be punished or exposed. I was asking for help. And instead of care, I was met with humiliation, fear, and control. Being threatened with exposure, being yelled at, being physically intimidated. Learning early that expressing discomfort didn't lead to safety, it led to memorization or silence. There was times I spoke up and shared what I shared was diluted, reframed, or dismissed. There was no justice, just adaptation. My body learned to hold everything inside, to normalize what should never have been normal. Now, years later, my body knows better. That's the key. What's coming up isn't regression. It's not me going backwards. It's not me reopening wounds because I'm unstable or stuck. It's the opposite. These emotions are surfacing because my nervous system finally feels safe enough to feel them, safe enough to name them, safe enough to release them without being consumed. This is progression. I've spent a long time living inwards, healing internally, building an internal sanctuary, developing intuition, discernment, self trust, protection from within. And that work mattered. It saved me. It stabilized me. It gave me roots. But now staying in the internal has started to feel claustrophobic. Not because the internal world is wrong, but because it complete enough to be shared with the external. I I'm noticing a hunger for stimulation, for movement, for being around people. Not validation in the old way, not being seen to be approved of, but reflection, feedback, reality. The kind of interactions that help the body oriented itself in space and time. The kind that brings balance between inner truth and lived experience. I can feel the imbalance clearly now. My internal world is strong, expanded, rich. My external world hasn't caught up yet. The feminine energy has been holding the vision, the healing, the meaning for a long time. The masculine action, structure, engagement movement is ready to come online. This isn't forcing productivity or rushing growth or overworking myself the way I used to. It's gentle participation in life again. That's why something as simple as a part-time job, a reason to leave the house, a place to filled with and light and movement feels important, not as an identity, not as a destination, but as a bridge, a circulation, a way to circulate energy, a way to support my creativity materially, a way to create to meet the world without armor. I'm not hiding anymore, and I'm not chasing either. I can feel that something is shifting. The internal world is appearing to reflect itself externally, not as a spectacle, not as a performance, but as confirmation, a quiet recognition that says you're on the right track. I don't need perfection. I don't need crowds. I don't need immediate results. I just need space to move. This season isn't about fixing myself, it's about expanding, letting joy exist not only inside my head or heart, but in my body, my environment, my interactions, letting life meet me where I am now, not where I used to be. I'm not afraid of imbalance anymore. I can I can name it without judgment because imbalance doesn't mean broken, it means growing. And now growth looks like stepping gently into the external world with the same care, intuition, and self respect I cultivated internally. I feel healthy, not finished, not perfect, but responsive, present, and ready. And that's enough. I'm sorry, not sorry. Learning how to, be more nicer. Um, uh, Definitely when it comes to reading, sometimes my, I don't know, I'm not diagnosed, but I do struggle with reading and seeing certain words and things like that, or pronouncing certain words. So, yeah, if you listened the whole way through, thank you for being with me. I'm probably gonna put the message down in the subscription or up on the screen so you can read it with me. Um, but if I don't, then you just had to bear with me. Thank you for that. Do you want me to? I don't think they want me to read the other one to you. There's another one, but I think that's for another time. Or do you want me to read it? Okay, no, not reading it. There's this. See, I get to overthinking and questioning whether I'm doing something right or wrong. What feels right? I'm gonna read it. Spirit's calling me to read it. It felt wrong when I said I'm not gonna read it, so we'll read it. The wisdom of not rushing. There is an energy guiding me now that says, do not rush, go steady, stay steady, allow things to reveal themselves in their own time. I noticed it in the smallest moments. A website taking time to load in the past that would have triggered impatience, the urge to hurry, to control the outcome, to get to the end. But this time, I didn't rush. I watched as everything loaded in slowly, naturally. And in that moment, I realized that something important. It was never about when, it was about how. Not the how that comes from anxiety or pressure, but the how that unfolds when I'm present. I allow I already know my why. My why is clear. It's my dream to get paid to do what I love. The part of me has never wavered. That part of me has never wavered. What's revealing itself now is the how, and I'm no longer trying to force it into existence. I'm allowing it to meet me through time. Consistency and devotion to what genuinely feels good in my body. I had a dream once about Going back to Buffalo. And when it happened in real life, it felt like deja vu. I did go back. I did lose everything, and somehow I still made it back. What surprised me the most is how it felt. Buffalo looked more beautiful. It felt more beautiful, not because I want to stay here forever, but because I had time away, time to strip things down, time to work on who I am, time to meet myself without all the noise. And now I see myself in this place from a freer, softer, and more expansive perspective. Patience has been ingrained into me through experience, not theory. I've seen what happens when I rush. I felt the pain, the pressure, the ego flaring up, the consequences of acting without breathing. And I don't hate that version of me. I respect her. She's cool as hell. She charges forward with determination. She moves through pain without stopping. She's fire, and she's the reason I survived long enough to get here. But now I want something else. Patience is powerful too. Patience is teaching me what I truly want and what's what I truly need without force. I no longer believe I have to wrestle life for answers. The answers come through time, through consistency, through choosing what I love again and again. That doesn't matter that doesn't mean there will never be challenges. It means the challenges arrive from a more loving place, a more grounded place, a place where even difficulties can feel like a blessing in disguise. I'm not rushing anymore. I'm listening, and everything is meeting me exactly where I am. Whew. Yeah, all right. That's the message. Is there anything else? I don't think I need to really explain anything that I said there. I don't feel called to explain anything. I'll do like one more card, and I should be playing like 5 cards. Okay, they're actually listen. Okay. Ooh, I feel like what I'm getting here. This is the last message. Um, that action is being taken, but from a more healthy place. This action is creating peace from within rather than struggle, force, and anger, resentment. This energy is coming from love because we have the Lover's card in here. This energy is coming from love. This energy is coming from kindness within self. I feel like this energy is that you have been moving more into this energy of doing things that feels more freer and comfortable to you. Like all the things that you are doing feels a lot more easier and even passive at certain points because it is action that is being taken for you, through you. And this energy is creating something that's overwhelming, like abundance and joy and peace. Like what I'm getting is I got this message last night of like alchemizing anger and pain and turning it into pleasure and even alchemizing pleasure into even more pleasure. So it's like no matter what energy you're in, you're alchemizing it into pleasure. So if you're feeling pain, you're alchemizing that pain into pleasure. And if you feel pleasure, you're alchemizing that pleasure into even more pleasure. So literally all you can create from this point on is more pleasure in your life, is more freedom, it's more bliss, it's more fun, it's more creation. So yeah, like I'm getting the energy of you're creating from a space of ease, and I literally cannot explain this any better. Like you're creating from a space of ease, you're taking action, but the action doesn't feel like action. It feels passive almost at certain points because it's literally something you want to do. It's the energy of patience. Like I said, this relates to the message that I just read. The energy is coming from creativity. The energy is coming from ease. The energy is coming from doing stuff that feels good and right in your soul, and then going from that and creating from that and doing from that. And that action is the masculine energy taking action, and the feminine is helping the masculine, and the masculine is helping the feminine. The masculine is taking the action that needs to be taken when it needs to be taken, calming down your nervous system when it needs to be calm. And the feminine is creating that creativity, that understanding, and that flow to do it at the right times in the right places to create the most aligned energy for you and through you. Um, yeah, energy is very significant. This energy is very important. I feel called to make a whole different message. So I'm gonna cut this message off to start a new one because these cards have just been sitting here marinating, and now I feel spirit actually coming through me. So yeah, this is the end of this message. But if you're ready to watch my next message, it will probably be out sometime whenever it's ready to be out. But yeah, thank y'all so much for getting to this point. If you have gotten to this point, I appreciate it. I am grateful for you. If you haven't, so what? Um, and take care of yourself, love yourself, appreciate yourself, and make sure you're doing what feels good and freeing to you. All right, bye. Chambers out.